Hi everyone. I decided to make a me quilt from the Tompkins text, and I actually made one more so because I can't figure out how to get voice onto a Google slide, so I made one for everyone. So I'm just gonna go through quickly what each of these parts are. So in the middle I have my picture and just some information about me. It says I'm from Queensbury, New York. I graduated from SUNY Oneonta in 2017, and I'm currently a second grade teacher in Glens Falls at Big Cross Elementary. So up here it says I'm a writer who likes to, and I'll just read what I wrote. It says I tend to who likes specifics. I tend to do my best work when there are guidelines set in place. Page limits and specific criteria are my friends when I write. Without a checklist or rubric, I feel lost when attempting to plan out a piece. And so this is actually a piece of writing I did in second grade that I found in my parents' house, and on the back of it was a rubric. And so I think from a young age, rubrics really helped guide me through my writing. And to this day, I don't like free writes. I don't like writing poetry, free verse especially. It's too broad for me. I need really specific guidelines and criteria to follow. So that's from a young age up until right now. Next, I am a writer who doesn't like editing and revising. I know I should probably like it more than I do since I teach writing, but I can't get in it. As I said, as an early writer up to this point, I do not enjoy reading my own writing. While it is something I have grown to accept as a necessity as I move through each step of the writing process, there is something about reading my own writing that makes me cringe, which is very true. And I picked this piece of writing. It's a piece that I did in sixth grade, and it was an argumentative piece about why junk food should not be allowed in schools. And the reason I chose that is as I was going through it yesterday at my parents' house, what I lost points for was like simple mechanics errors. And I know I'm 100% positive it was because I didn't go back and reread my work. But to this day, it just like makes me uncomfortable reading my own writing for some reason, but I'm trying to get better at it. The next part here is as a student, my writing was, and I said it was neat and thoughtful. I mean, this is a piece of writing from first grade, and honestly, I don't want to do my own horn, but I was pretty impressed with my handwriting. I said, looking back at my old writing pieces, it is clear that I put a lot of thought and energy into both planning my writing and executing it. I remember many of my elementary teachers putting in a lot of time ensuring that we had neat handwriting so we could take pride in our work. And that's something I try to do today is be neat in my writing and my planning and making sure everything's organized. And I mean, while I do enjoy my end products for the most part, usually, I try to also take pride in the planning process. And then down here, personally, my writing has become more formal. And I put a picture of the EdTPA just because I felt like that was a really big piece of writing that made me kind of need to challenge what I was doing with my writing and make sure it was more formal so I could pass. And I said, throughout my undergraduate studies, I took many higher level courses that challenged me to push the boundaries of what I was comfortable doing as a writer. I often questioned whether or not I could handle some of those classes, but in the end, they made my writing much more professional, and I'm appreciative of those challenging times now. I took like a 300 level course one of my semesters, and I just remember sitting in there with a lot of older people just questioning why I was there. And it happened throughout the semester, but I had a really great professor who helped me along the way. And between her and the TPA and the work that I've done so far with my master's, I feel like my writing has become a lot more professional. Over here. Over here, I said, as a writer, I'd like to know more about modifying any lessons for students who receive AAS services. And the reason I said that is because in fourth grade, I received AAS services for both reading and writing. Since I had always taken pride in being a good student, this was embarrassing for me. I was upset with myself that I had somehow performed so poorly that I needed to be pulled out of class for extra help. Although the experience helped me to grow as a writer, I want to be able to better support those students who receive AAS services for their writing. Um, that was a really tough time for me. I put this picture in here that says I was most improved in writing, and that was in first grade. So my writing has always kind of varied in, I just varied in my abilities. I mean, from sixth grade on, I was in honors and EP classes for writing. So it obviously rebounded, but that experience in fourth grade helped me put myself in my students' shoes now who receive AAS services. And I think something I would like to keep working on as I get going in my teaching career is being able to better serve them in the classroom as well. And then as a result of those experiences in fourth grade, I says as a reading teacher, I want to give constructive feedback in a positive manner. And the reason for this being, I went to Queensbury High School. So I said in high school, I had a teacher tell me during a writing conference that I wasn't putting enough effort into my work. This crushed me because I knew I was doing my best. My goal now as a teacher is to provide students with meaningful feedback on their writing that will both improve their writing while also encouraging them to keep working hard. And those words from that teacher still ring in my head as I write pieces to this day, and I question my effort now, so it really stuck with me. So I want to make sure now as a writing teacher that I choose my words carefully and make sure that if it is constructive, it's meaningful, and the kids don't negatively reflect on their pieces. They look at their writing and think, okay, I'm going to take that and I'm going to positively execute a new piece or a revised piece. And then finally, this bottom piece right here, I have a book that I wrote my mom for Mother's Day in second grade, and a lot of Shel Silverstein books. And I said, as a writer, I hope someday to write my own book. My mom and I have always said that we want to write a children's book about our two English bulldogs, Mr. Ferguson and Lulu. Since becoming a teacher, I have read so many picture books to my students that I feel we are more prepared than ever to write a bestseller. And I put some Shel Silverstein books in there because that's what I grew up on, and I read those to my kids all of the time. And I love how each part of the book is a different story or a different poem, and that's kind of my inspiration for wanting to write my own book. And my mom and I have some really great ideas for a story, so I'm hoping one day we'll write one. But this is my knee quilt. I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry my video was so long, but I had a lot to say. Okay, bye.